Hello, everyone. We're going to start modeling a single family house from an AutoCAD drawing. So first thing we have to do is to insert. You see that here we have import CAD. We're going to click this, and I'm going to browse this file, open, and we get here the AutoCAD drawing. Okay, so this is a single family house. That's the basement, that's the first floor, that's the second floor, and this is a section view. In AutoCAD, you see that we have different layers, we have different colors. So the green colors are walls. We have this yellow color, which is the structure. So that's the most important thing. And here we have the stairs, and we have furniture in red and the doors in this color. Okay. And now we have to trace it, but before we have to scale the drawing. I'm going to go to manage, and I'm going to set the project units, in this case, in inches. So here we have length. By default, we have feet and fractional inches. I'm going to use inches here. And the distance, I'm going to set inches too. Because what we have to do now is to scale this. What's the dimension that we have here? We have imported this file, and this is 4. It's 4 inches. Okay, so it's not enough. So we are going to make that stairway, the width, 40 inches. So let's create first a model line. I'm going to type 40 inches, and I'm going to scale this drawing, and this width has to be 40 inches. Okay, so select this, scale. Doesn't work because it's pinned. So the first thing we have to do is to unpin this drawing. Okay, and now we can scale, we can move it, we can do whatever we feel like. Scale. So this is the first point. The second point is the width of the staircase, and the last point is this at 40 inches. At 40 inches, yeah. So if that width is 40 inches, let's check that it's correct. Okay, so 40 inch, it's a good. The minimum would be 3 feet, 36 inches. 40 is good for the minimum width of a staircase. This is the staircase that goes from the basement to the first floor. Okay, so and now we have to start tracing those walls. But first, we have to set the levels. Okay, so on the levels, we have level 1, level 2, and this is 0, and now it's in inches. So this is 120 inches. By default, we have 3 feet, but we have to take these dimensions from the section. Okay, so that's the basement level, and that's the floor level. So this is 136. The second is 131. Again, 131. And then the distance from this to the roof is 126. So the first level has to be 136, the second one 136 plus 131, and the last one, the roof level, it would be at this distance. So let's do it. So that first level has to be 126, and I'm going to call it 126. Now I have to move this 130, it's 136. 36. Now the next one is 131, so I have to copy this one and I have to move it 131 up, and that will be the level 267. And finally, the last level is 126 up. So let's copy this one, 126 up, and that will be the level 393. Okay, so now we have all these levels. That's the basement, that's the first floor, second floor, and the roof. Now I can start tracing the walls. So I'll start tracing the basement walls and these columns. So let's create, oh, first we have to measure the thickness of these walls. So we have a 13-inch wall here. We have a 4-inch wall here. And this is 8. Why is that? Well, this is a courtyard and this is the elevator. So these walls don't have any thermal insulation, but the outdoor wall, it does have thermal insulation. Okay, so that's why there is a difference between this wall without the thermal insulation and the exterior wall with thermal insulation. And the interior walls, yeah, usually it's 4 inches. Let's create walls. So I'm going to create an edit type and duplicate, and this is the wall 13 inches. Okay, now I can duplicate again, and I'm going to create a wall 8 inches. And duplicate again, and I'm going to create a 4-inch wall. The 4-inch, I have to go to the structure and change this thickness to 4. And now I have to select the 8-inch wall edit type. And I have to, well, this is 8 by default. And now I have to go to the 13-inch wall edit type. And I have to type 13 inches here. Okay, so let's start with this one. And now, as you can see, we can snap to the midline or here or there. And this is the first decision that we have to make. For example, if I have these walls, so even if it's not straight or this angle isn't a 90-degree angle, it's more accurate if we select the Align tool. And we're going to use the exterior face of the AutoCAD wall to align the Revit wall. And well, it matches. But even if this is not okay, you see that it's the original AutoCAD file is, yeah, it's 13 inches, but it rounds up probably. So the 13-inch wall in Revit is slightly thicker. Okay, so that's why we have to be consistent and to line up all these walls with the exterior line. And well, let's keep tracing all the walls. And I'm not going to follow this. I'd rather use the Align tool because I think it's much more accurate. So, and now we can trim, and now it's going to delete these dimensions. Okay. So the same thing with the 8-inch wall, architecture wall. Now we have to select the 8-inch wall. And let's do the same. We have 3 walls here, 1, 2, and 3. So now I'm going to line up the wall again with the exterior line. See that this is the other way around. The 8-inch Revit wall, it's slightly thinner than the 8-inch AutoCAD wall, okay, because we have this effect of rounding up the units. So let's extend this, and now all the corners are perfect. We can keep going with the 4-inch wall. So wall, select the 4-inch wall, and well, going to do the same. Don't interrupt the wall here, okay? We will open the doors, but we don't have to interrupt the wall there. So I'm going to use the align tool, align here, and I'm going to align this one too. Again, it's slightly different. So let's keep working. And finally, align this. And there you go. Okay, so here for this wall, I have selected the midline. Well, doesn't matter. So now on the east elevation, you see that we go from level 1, and these walls are unconnected. So I'm going to set the top constraint to 136. And now we have this, and we can start opening the doors. So opening the doors, if you go to architecture, door, we have different options here. We have 30, 32, 34, and 36. Probably the 36 width, it's this one, the main entrance door, it's 36, yeah, kind of. If you press the space bar, you see that you can change the orientation. So that would be the entrance, but this is too big. So this door is not 36. Probably this is a 30-inch door. Oh, by the way, I don't have this wall. Okay. So now I'm going to insert 30-inch. Yeah, I think this 30-inch works well here. And all the interior doors apparently are 30-inch doors. Open the 3D view, and oh, this wall is unconnected. So now we have all the walls and the doors on level 1. Now we have to start tracing level 2, but I don't want you to trace level 2 here. So I want you to start tracing level 2 at the top of the basement wall. Before we have to trace these columns. The columns are the dimensions 11 by 11. And the structural elements are the most important lines in the drawing. And I'm going to use grid line. Okay, remember architecture, grid lines. And I'm going to create grid lines where the structural elements are. Okay, so make sure that you select the midpoint of the structural element, and there are 3. If you can't snap the midpoint, make sure that you snap the midpoint. So in this direction, we have 3 structural lines. On the other direction, the wireframe. So this is 1, 2, 3. I'm going to select the grid line here. And this is not number 4, this is A, because it's in a different direction. So midpoint, and this is grid line B. That one would be, if we can't snap the midpoint, we have to try another column, and it works. This is 3. And finally, this is D, A, B, C, D. What if I want to make all the grid lines the same size? To do that, I'm going to use the scope box. So go to View, Scope Box, and I'm going to create a scope box like this. And now if you select only the grid lines, we can select scope box 1. And now we can see these grid lines, and the grid lines are referring to the scope box. I can change the size of the scope box, and the size of the grid lines will change. Okay, so we need these grid lines because now the structural elements on the first floor, they have to be on the same vertical as the structural elements on the first floor of the basement. By the way, we have a window here. Okay, so we can insert architecture window, and let's try this fixed window. I don't know if we will have default, maybe 36. No, we need to create a new one. So let's start with this 36-inch window, but the dimension is 51. Okay, so let's edit type, duplicate, and this is 51 by 72. Let's keep this height. And now we have to change the width to 51. Okay, so now it's kind of the same. Okay. Yep, we do have the window here. We can select the window sill. Okay, if we select this window, the sill height is 12 inches. 12 inches is just 1 foot. It's better having this like 36 inches, 3 feet. It's a good window sill to work by default. So that's a courtyard, and that basement has a window to this courtyard, and this is the elevator. So this is a shaft, and we have the elevator there. Okay. Now what's next? We're going to create the floor to the first floor. Okay, so we have a basement. We will need a floor on the basement, and we have the first floor, and we will need this first floor. You see that we're going to extend this first floor because there will be other things. Here we have a swimming pool. So we are going to extend the first floor up to this point. And the same thing with the basement. Okay. So if we are on level 1 and we create a floor, we can edit the footprint anytime. So I'm going to create a basement floor, something like this. Take a look at the 3D view. Okay, so now there is a floor, the basement. And if we look at this, the slab is underneath the level that we have created. Now we need to do the same with level 1. With level, sorry, instead of level 1, level 136. On level 136, I'm going to create another floor. And I'm going to repeat the same rectangle that I had in the basement. I'm going to attach the walls to this floor. And there you go. So we have all the walls attached there. So that's the first floor. And those are the walls there. And now on level 136, we have to start tracing these walls here. But to do that, I'm going to change the original drawing from level 1 to level 136. Okay. And now I'll use I'm going to use the wireframe. I'll use the grid lines to move this floor to this position so that I can keep tracing. So I'm going to move and I have to select the midpoint and I have to move it up to this grid line. Okay, so you see that now we have the second floor. And we can start tracing the walls and they should match the walls on the first floor and the walls on the basement. Okay, so let's go to level 136. And yeah, first I'm going to create the outline of there are different lines here. We have a blue line here that it's disturbing. Okay, so probably we should have deleted this blue line in the original AutoCAD file, but we're going to trace the green outline of the walls. So let's do it. So let's go to wall. I'm going to use the 13-inch wall. And I'm going to start like this. This is the outline. We go down. Okay, here we have this door. There you go. And now we can line up or align all these walls using the same criteria. We have to use the exterior face. And then this, and exterior face. And this exterior face. This exterior. This exterior. And finally, this one. Now we have to trim this wall and this wall. And as you can see, this wall is extended up to this point. We can draw another one. Yep. Now we can align this one here. So this is it. That's the elevator wall, but it's a different thickness. This is an 8-inch wall. So we go to wall, select the 8-inch, and we're going to line up to the exterior face. Line. Yeah, I think this is aligned to the exterior. Finally, we need the interior partitions. So the interior partitions, go to architecture, wall, 4-inch. And well, let's keep working. Here and here we have the bedroom and another bathroom here. Here we have a sliding door. Okay, so we will deal with sliding doors later. First, line up all the interior walls here. There, and we need one more. We can copy this wall here because there's a door here. Okay. Now it's a little confusing because we can see the walls, even if we hide this in view. We can see the basement interior walls, and the interior walls, they don't have to match. The exterior walls are quite heavy, probably structural elements, and they have to match on the basement and the first and the second floor. Interior walls are just partitions. So if we remove one of the walls, the structure of the building won't be affected. If we remove one of the structural exterior walls, probably the structure of the building will be affected and there will be a lot of issues. But when it comes to these 4-inch walls, they don't have to match on the basement and the first floor and on the second floor. Wait, I have to extend this here. Well, look at these, those tiny gaps that we have here. I don't like it, so I'm going to line up. Whoop. Okay, be careful with this because now that both walls are connected, we can't use align. We have to use the move tool And look at these. Okay, those are tiny imperfections. Well, nobody will notice, but it's there. So try to fix this kind of things. Okay, now on the 3D view, we have to adjust the size of the walls. I select everything, I filter, just select walls, and they have to go up to level 267. So that's level 1, the basement. That's level 136. If you don't want to see, maybe it's useful at some point looking at the walls that we have there. This is not the view range. This is the underlay. Okay, so the underlay, the base level is level 1. If we change this to level 136, that disappears. Okay, if we go to level 1, we see this, but we can select it. So that's the difference between the underlay and the view range. Yeah, sometimes it's useful to look at what we have below that level without selecting it. And well, there's something to fix there probably. Let me see. Let me unhide the drawing again. Okay, no, that's fine because this is where the staircase ends. Up here. And probably this one can be trimmed. Yeah. And I have to line up this and this. And this and this. This is a closet door. And the same thing here. It's good, apparently. Okay. Doors. I'm going to use a 30-inch door for this bathroom, for the bedroom, and well, I have sliding doors there. And the entrance, this is the main entrance. For this one, I'm going to use the 36 one. Okay. What's next? We need the floor, the second floor. So the second floor, if we look at the original drawing, so the basement goes up to this point, the first floor goes up to this point, but the second floor is just the footprint of the building, the same second floor and the roof. So what is the second floor? The second floor goes up to this point here. Okay, so you see that we have this wall. I'm going to create a model line from this green line all the way here. Okay, so it's the interior red line there. So that's the limit of my second floor, sorry. So let's do it. Let's go to architecture, floor, and I'm going to trace it. Okay, I'm going to start here. And then I'm going to this point, that point. So it's the outline of the exterior wall. That's the elevator. So I have to extend the wall up to this point. I don't have the snapping line, so I will use the align tool later. Okay, remember that I had here something. This, okay, good. And now I'm going to open this rectangle because this is the shaft where the elevator is going to be. Okay, I made a mistake because I created this on level 136 and it has to be on level 267. And now I have to select only the walls and attach the walls to the floor. So now it is correct. What happens here? Okay, so I told you that there was a courtyard, very small courtyard on the basement. So we have to open this, and we have to open this on this floor. So let's edit boundary, select this, and now we can create a rectangle here. Okay, so now I have this opening. So that's a small courtyard that it's giving light to that basement. Okay, finally, I have to move up and trace the second floor. So select this. I have to move this to the level 267. And now I have to use the same columns. I have to not copy, I have to move from this midpoint. Then I have to go to the midpoint of this. So now on that level, I can start tracing the second floor. So I have to activate that level. It's the 267. If it's not here by default, we have to go to view, plan views, floor plan, and then I can activate 267 and trace this. Start with a 13-inch wall. And now we will use the align 1, 2. And trim this one, that one. Okay, so that's the outline. Now the second is the 8-inch wall here. I'm going to align the exterior line. Careful with this. And now we have to move it in this direction. And finally, the interior partitions. Picture, wall, or okay, so interior partitions, and now align. Oh, keep eliminating out things. Trim, extend. Here, extend this one there. Yep, so we need this small wall. And now this one, line. And what's next? Oh, this wall. Stand and this wall. Finally, this one, and I'm going to line up instead of leaving this tiny gap there. I'm going to line up this with the exterior wall and extend and extend. Okay, and now doors. I told you that there are sliding doors in this bathroom, but I'm going to I will insert sliding doors later. Now architecture door. These are the 30. floors. And now this is the stairway, and this is a double volume. When we have these lines here, that means that there's a double volume. So I'm going to open this on this floor. I have to do it probably on the basement. So here we have the floor slab, and this has to be open to below because that's the stairway. And this is like a bridge, okay, but this is an opening. So I'm going to open all that space on that floor. So I'm going to edit boundary, and now I'm going to create a rectangle from this wall to this corner. Okay, so now I have this opening. Well, that's the main volume of the building. We have all the exterior, interior walls, and all the doors. So the next step will be to create the windows. When it comes to the windows, we don't have the elevations, so we will make them up. Okay, we have the footprint of the window. We have the plan, the floor plan view. So that will gives us the width, but we don't have the height of the window, so we'll make it up.